Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
Welcome to winter.
Yeah,
cold.
It's
cold
finally
outside.
actually got cold. And it just like a switch flipped.
I would like to, once again, register my displeasure with the existence of winter and cold weather.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking that in and putting exactly the filing cabinet with the care that I can tell was taken.
Yeah. We put it in the folder with your other complaints.
Just think
That's just a fire.
Just think of it this way, Randy. You deal with cold for maybe about a month.
Yep.
We
It's 2 months.
Maybe sometimes with global warming. Who the hell knows? I will say though, for 10 other months, we deal with
Glorious warm weather.
hateful heat,
Hellfire.
bullshit, hellfire.
But look,
And we're tired of it, and we're very happy with it.
here's what's good about it.
Yeah.
Is it feels festive.
It does. It does
It
feel
feels
festive. Yeah.
You have to bundle up and be cozy with a blanket,
Yep.
and you have to make the hot chocolate and read a comic by the fireside in your old-timey woolen cap
With pajamas that have the butt flap.
with the pajamas with a butt flap on it.
Something about the butt flap is very Christmassy.
If you do all of those things, does something unlock? Do we?
Yes, you will unlock 3 ghosts that will visit you and
That
tell
doesn't
you.
sound like a boon,
It's not.
Randy.
They'll visit your enemies. How about that? You can sick 3 ghosts on your enemies.
They're like,
Okay,
we only sent one ghost. You only had you didn't have the butt.
You didn't have the butt
flap.
flap open. If the butt flap is not there or closed, you get 1 ghost. Butt flap, 2 ghosts. Butt flap open, 3 ghosts.
What's the old the ad where there's like a little dog pulling at like some
Coppertone.
Yeah, the
Coppertone,
Coppertone
Yeah.
sunscreen.
They will send the dog out to activate the butt
Activate the
flap.
butt flap. It's going to be a weird one, folks.
Coppertone dog is here for the holidays. Get in your pajamas, it's coming.
So bizarre.
So yeah,
Sun.
but we got a nice kickoff to the holidays. We had a really busy Wednesday last week. We had a exceptionally good Black Friday. Thank you everybody for coming out. We appreciate it.
Yep, and it was also like as always, lots of fun. Everybody seemed to be in good spirits. I felt like we were able to connect people with the stuff they were looking for. Cool games, cool comics. And it doesn't hurt that I feel like this is kind of an exciting time. I think especially right now in the comics biz.
Comics are great right now. We've had multiple weeks where we're going to talk about what a good week this is for us.
Mm-hmm. And just like the buzz, the level of excitement people have for like Absolute Batman or even just regular Batman, which we're going to talk about this week.
For sure.
DCKO.
DCKO, yeah. It's very cool.
DC's killing it.
DC's killing it. Those compact editions, I don't know if we've mentioned this, but the compact editions, those $10 digest size reprints of like 20 or so of DC's best loved stories, have been doing amazing in the last year, and we had to get another display just to stock them all. So we just got them side by side. They're really nicely displayed right now.
There are, I think, 3 or 4 more coming back in print this week. So some of them have been out, will be coming back in.
I feel like we should just make a sign that we put on it that says $10. Buy whatever one you see because they're all good.
Yeah.
They're all good.
They're all really good. So it's a good time for comics.
It is. And a fun week, which we'll talk about later this week. There's even some stuff that's good that's not DC.
That's true.
In fact, my favorite book this week, I think, is from Image.
I think it's our maybe all 3 of our really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's our pick, but it's going to be high on the list.
All right.
But first, let's talk about some games that came in.
Yep.
There was a couple sort of smaller games from Asmodee. One called Vivo. That's it's like a trick-taking game involving solos, duets, trios, quartets. So it's like harmony themed.
Oh, okay.
And then there's one called Soda Jerk, where you're
That's an old-timey term.
you get soda ingredient cards: strawberry, blueberry, banana, kiwi, orange. You manage your hand to serve delicious beverages while being a jerk to others.
Do you really?
Yes, that's what it says.
So I don't know if people know, but like I guess back in the day, like in the 50s and stuff, when that term was maybe kind of coined or popularized, it probably goes back to like the 30s.
But they didn't.
It was the person who was at the counter who'd be like the equivalent of a barista, but who made your sodas for you and would put like extra stuff on it. And what was it from them jerking the little handle?
It's because they masturbated while they were doing it.
Well, that was acceptable in the 50s.
Yeah, in the 50s it was okay.
Nowadays,
Now we're so prudish.
Nowadays, I always get a weird look when I call him a coffee jerk.
Hey, coffee jerk, give me my coffee jerk.
So I was trying to inform the people out there.
I can't help you with that. Dumb jokes.
No, I mean,
I bet that's what it was because they're jerking a little lever.
I believe that is correct.
Just like when you're serving beer.
So I gotta say, just thinking about
but
this.
then that's fun. The game, it sounds like, of course, is taking it the way we would now, snarky and like other.
Jerk.
You got to be a jerk in the game.
I am a Dr. Pepper fiend.
Okay.
Of course, this is one of my favorite thing to drink.
It's true.
I kind of wish there was a like a craft soda Starbucks type thing.
Yeah.
Like I would buy craft sodas all the time.
That'd be fun.
That was like it's like a regular thing you go in and get.
I feel like you could probably kind of combine it with like you could have like sort of hard soda options in there. You get a little bit of liquor in it, but also stuff the equivalent of like you get a Dr. Pepper milkshake or whatever.
I would like there to be full on soda jerk factories.
We talking 50s jerk?
Yeah, 50s style jerking it. That's what I'm gonna call it when I open it. Jerking it, a soda store.
Randy's once, always hot, and weird soda jerks.
Yes.
It's
But
on
anyway,
our list today.
Just a quick bit of trivia. Back, if people remember the game City of Heroes, an MMO from like 2003 or 2005 or
Beloved.
something. Yeah, and it was fun. We played it a bit. We had a kind of a goofy side team, not our serious characters. It was called the Soda Jerks. Yeah, my
right.
character was Big Red.
Yeah.
He was like a big tick-like doofus.
Yep.
Randy, who were you in that?
I believe mine was cola. It was red and
Oh yeah, you looked
had-
like a sentient jolt
was a
cola.
flying blaster.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Sure.
It was
Anyway,
cola with a K, by the way.
yeah. Well,
And then I think was there grape? Was grape one of them?
I feel like there was like an electric orange.
There
guy
was
who
Livewire.
Livewire, yeah.
It's a
That
tribute
was
to Mountain Dew.
tribute to Mountain Dew. Anyway, yeah, fun little aside in those days.
We got a expansion pack for the Star Wars deck building game, which is a really good 2-player deck builder.
Yep.
This is a small pack, the Mandalorian faction pack. So you can add Mandalorians and new base cards, new starter cards. It includes new rules for a 3-player mode.
I really need to play this game.
It's
I
super
like
fun.
deck builders. I like Star Wars.
And you like Star Realms, and this is very close to Star Realms.
Yeah, you told me about some of the unique things in it,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, these are pretty cool ideas that they had.
Yeah.
So,
It's a good game, and I need to pick up that.
and you know what
expansion.
else I like? Mando.
Mando.
You gotta say it, Carl Weathers stuff.
That's true.
I talked about this last week when I was talking about BGG-Con. We got Galactic Cruise in. This is a big, heavy Euro-style game.
Yeah, like
This
literally,
is
it's a physically heavy game,
This is
but
if you throw it at somebody, they will be injured.
So this is you are combining the comfort of a luxury cruise with the innovation of space travel. It's got a little bit of like a throwback 50s sci-fi vibe.
Yeah, sure.
You are competing to be the CEO of a space cruise company.
okay.
And the way you do that is that you're inventing technologies, growing the workforce, starting up cruises, you buy little modules to put in your ships.
Yep.
It might be like a yoga studio or
Okay, yeah. So you each one of you would be like kind of doing your own space cruise ship?
Yep. You're trying to build to a launch. You're building ships by putting things in them and getting people who have different interests.
Mm-hmm.
You have a cruise director who like goes out and you spend ads to recruit people to come to your ship.
This is the Love Boat of board games,
It's
dense Euro games.
It's got a great theme.
And you said it was a pretty serious game.
It's a serious game. There's a lot going on. When I've been trying to play it a little bit solo on VGA, there's a lot to keep track of.
Right.
But if you play it a little bit, it's going to be like if you like Terraforming Mars and Ark Nova and games in that vein.
Is it kind of a game where you're more focused on what you're doing, or is it sort of you have to pay attention to what everyone
You
else
interact
is
with the
doing?
board, so like the space is on the board. So if someone else takes the space of like building a rocket this turn, then you have to pay them to use that space. So there's some interaction, or someone could take cards or pieces that you wanted, and then those are unavailable.
Because I've heard like Terraforming Mars is very like you're using what you've got, right?
There's a little more interaction because there are resources that you'll be competing for, cards, ship parts, people, and then there's also you have a mechanic where you're upgrading like between the spaces where someone can use a space, but they have to pay you money to do it. So it's a really good.
It's interesting because there's a lot of games that are like that. Even Star Realms, sometimes you buy something to keep it out of somebody else's hands.
Yep.
There's those kind of strategies.
This is a lot of people's favorite game. It's got really good reviews on BGG.
Yep.
If you like heavy games, this is one you'll get a lot of replay out of it.
Cool.
And they've already got an expansion on the way next year. We got a game called Merchants of Andromeda. If you don't want to play a space galactic CEO, You could play a game of space politics.
That sounds interesting.
Casting votes in the Senate, bidding on lucrative space goods, or resorting to ship combat.
Yeah.
Just like
That
modern day
sounds
politics.
a little bit like Twilight Imperium
Yeah.
and kind of like...
Not quite as heavy.
Basics, yeah.
We got a game called Orbit. Orbital race between interstellar tourists, which is a tactical space race with simple turns, yet challenging possibilities.
Okay.
So
It's an all-spacey.
I was gonna say it's all sci-fi.
Yep. Then we got Orbit and Silo, and I believe there's one more that I don't have on here that were like 3 different games that are they're linked games. It looks like they're all
Yeah, they all
individual,
have
but-
the same kind of style.
So Orbit, orbital race between interstellar tourists. that was the one we did. Silos, secret interlopers from outer space. You control competing
Is
factions.
the IL in Silo
Interlopers, it is correctly, yes,
amazing.
yes, yeah.
I love a good bad acronym. I honestly do.
It's a his tank.
You control competing factions of aliens who abduct and brainwash humans and cows while secretly invading their community.
Okay.
Cows.
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
sure.
I'm liking the theme.
You tussle
going
for
on.
majority influence in the locations of the small town. You're basically taking over a small town as aliens.
Oh, I mean, that sounds kind of
It
fun.
looks like fun. We got the Eberron book, the latest Eberron book for D&D, Forge the Artificer, which has new Artificer subclasses, revised species, new backgrounds, including a background for every dragon-marked house.
Eberron is an amazing setting.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it looked very cool when I was flipping through it.
I think the new class for is a map maker.
There's a few. There's 4 different ones.
Oh, there's 4 different ones. I
So,
know.
and then this is a revision of the Artificer class to fit the new sort of 2024 edition.
Right.
It's interesting because while there is some other Eberron stuff in here, this is very much a focused on like one class book. It is Artificer focused, which is interesting. Alien RPG gets its new Evolved edition.
right.
There's-
Basically, that is their second edition
Yeah.
of the Alien RPG.
It's got a new core rulebook, a new starter set, the Mother screen, which is the GM screen,
Oh,
It's
nice.
really cool.
and the a new Rapture Protocol Cinematic Adventure set, which is a big standalone adventure
Ooh.
that is also the first installment of a trilogy.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I will say the production values on these are pretty good.
They're gorgeous, yeah.
This is still Free League, right?
Yep.
If
Yeah,
memory
it's-
serves, so I haven't played this before, but the first game, I was under the impression that there were like different sort of play modes. Like you could be like the kind of action-oriented stuff, like in Aliens.
Yep.
Full survival horror, like Alien, and then like something that was maybe like a little bit in between, or I forget. There was I think like even a sort of a third play mode. And these might not be actually rules changes, but just more like, if you're GMing it, here's like how you make it focus in the right way.
I remember reading the books because I was
Yeah.
kind of researching for some stuff, and that I think that is correct.
Yeah, I
They
think
got
that's a
the
cool
flavor
idea
right.
because Alien does need to be able to encompass a few different things.
Yeah, it's got a lot of different modes.
It sounds like they also revised a lot of the rules. They there's life path character generation. They revised and expanded rules for stealth and stress and panic, rules for armor and grenades, added new weapons, ships, and locations from Alien Romulus, added rules for zero gravity miniatures play and expanded campaign play, gave a campaign setting, the Tartarus sector,
Oh, cool.
and there's a robust solo mode for playing without a GM. So
Whoa,
they did a lot
that's
of
crazy.
Oh, that's
There's
neat.
also
Now,
a
let me ask: did they fix the problem with the grappling rules for face huggers? Always grappling.
Yeah. A always B, B, G grappling. And then we got a miniature set, too. There's a little set of minis with some players, some Marines, and, of course, aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the Thunder Road Vendetta RPG, which is Thunder Road's one of our most popular games. It is basically a Car Wars, Mad Max kind of vibe.
Yep.
And this is how to play RPGs in that setting. I believe it is the same rules that are used for things like Nancy Druid and... I think it is
those
guys'
kind of
rules.
more
Yeah.
indie game-ish
Yeah.
ones. That seems like it might be good. A kind of a fast play, not one of these ones where you're gonna spend hours and hours and hours building up your character and then have them die when they crash.
Right. Yeah. And that's games. Let's move on to comics for the week.
Yep.
The book that I think we all were super into, Giant Size Criminal #1.
Yep.
This
That makes it
is
sound like it's about a giant-sized criminal.
it is not about a giant size criminal, nor is it actually that oversized. A little bit.
Yep, I noticed. I didn't even know that was part of its title. I just thought this was Criminal #1.
Well, that's because giant size appears only in the indicia, nowhere on the actual book.
It is. Ed Brubaker's been doing his criminal comic for 10 years at least.
At least.
Well, We started. It was like when we were podcasting. It was the first comic that we did.
That's right. So it's probably like 18 or 20 years.
Okay, well, and then we have liked it the whole time. It's basically often been a series of miniseries, or sometimes some one-shots, or standalone graphic novels. And it has this cast of criminals that can range from, like, kidnappers to, what do you call it? Oh my God, what do you call it when you, counterfeiters, to thieves, to, all kinds of dudes. In this one, this is a standalone issue. You don't need to have read any criminal ever before to enjoy this. This is about a sort of a lower level guy who tends to do, like, break-ins and thieving stuff. And it actually has a really cool kind of premise. He goes in the beginning into this, like, hotel that's, like, way above his pay grade, kind of a nice Four Seasons-y kind of place, or even above that. And he knows that one of these, like, guys who's, like, world championship of poker winners is going to be there. And someone who's, like, kind of a fixer guy. And by the way, I should say he's, like, 20 grand in the hole or something because he's got gambling problems. Yep. And but he's also, by the way, a very watchable kind of sleazebag. I think that's all of the characters.
I was going to say, that all has a stripe of sleazebag.
And so his fixer guy is like, we know the hotel room that this guy is staying in. He is going to make, even if he doesn't win, he's going to make some big bank playing poker here, and you're going to rob him. And
what follows is a series of
mishaps in the kind of truest noir tradition. But there is something a little different with this. Some of it's funny.
Yeah, I would say some of it is like outright comical.
But I was telling Randy, what I always like about Brubaker is that in the middle of the kind of the gritty crime stuff, there's these sometimes interesting, really human moments. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You remember do you know the bit I'm talking about where, I don't want to quite give the circumstances, but he has that memory of, like, watching cartoons with his dad. And I was like, oh, that was like a sort of sweet, weird scene in the middle of all of this. But it is a fantastic standalone story. Great ending and everything. Yep. Like, I feel like it kind of has it all.
I will also say, this is now being adapted into a TV show.
Right, it's going to be a show on Prime.
That's actually why they did this one shot. It's basically hey, if you see the show and you want to know what this book is, without reading the trade.
I think if this is a pretty good try it out, see what you're going to get from that.
And then in the back, he's got a text piece where he talks about the origins of it and some of the characters. And
right, you could just see a quick overview of the cast.
You see that there's a RPG.
There's a criminal RPG by Kieran Gillen.
Yep. Yeah, just a little, like, 3 or 4 page thing that allow you to kind of run sort of like an indie RPG style heist with twists and,
It's cool that they included that.
It looked cleverly written, I thought.
They are currently reprinting all the Criminal stuff in new trades. I will say I own every bit of Criminal. I think I own everything Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips have done together. They are also my favorite books, so this is a good way to see if this is for you, and if it is, I can definitely point you to what's next.
Yep, there's all kinds of stuff. And although his stuff is pretty much almost always crime, except maybe some of his superhero outings. He did do he created the Winter Soldier and did that whole arc in Captain America.
And Friday is crime
adjacent.
And he has other, like I said, he has other stuff that's kind of adjacent. It may not be in print right now, but Velvet, like, is his action spy thing. His take on a Bondian kind of idea.
Yes.
And he's always doing those kind of things that are, like, sort of adjacent to it. But if you're just not like, oh, I don't like gritty crime all the time. He's got other stuff, but there's always that interesting human element. I think even because I feel like I kind of burned out on crime in the 90s because that's the only movies that they made in the 90s. There were no other ones.
That's true.
I heard that they were trying to make some movie called Schindler's List, but they couldn't because they had to make Jesus.
It wasn't crimey enough.
It wasn't crimey enough.
And then there
were only crimes against humanity.
They made Schindler's Heist instead.
Jesus. Schindler's 11. Jesus.
He stole the Declaration of Independence.
I feel like we're in trouble for this.
I'm saying nothing.
No, but so I'm not always the biggest crime guy, but I almost never fail to have a great time with whatever he's turning up. So
he's a great writer.
Yep. So that's maybe our pick of the week. But there's some other goodies. There's some other goodies.
Yeah. Doctor Strange #1. This is from the writer, not the same artist, but the writer who did the Doctor Strange of Asgard that we all really enjoyed.
Yeah, we talked about that several times. Essentially, for various reasons, that started with Doctor Doom becoming Sorcerer Supreme, but Doctor Strange is in exile from Earth right now.
I don't know. There's various reasons. It's just the one reason.
Well, Well, there's the new stuff with Thor seemingly being dead.
Oh yeah. You're talking about this one. I'm saying like Doctor Strange of Asgard was
right.
He wasn't Sorcerer Supreme, so he
but
went to
there's a
Asgard.
reason he doesn't go back right now.
Right. So
There's a lot being laid at his
But you don't
feet.
need to know too much about
No,
it.
the Doctor Strange of Asgard, which we all really enjoyed and is in trade, but you don't have to read this.
Yeah.
Definitely set him up as like he was in a newly created position because Thor was king and a friend of his.
Yep.
Of the Sorcerer Supreme of Asgard.
Yep.
And now, yes, in the first issue of this, he finds that not only is he the Sorcerer Supreme of Asgard, he literally cannot go home because of events that happened in Immortal Thor, which, again, you don't have to read. None of us have read all the way through.
They tell you what you need
They
to
tell
know.
you what you need to know. And so, as a result, he is, like, doing sorcerer stuff in Asgard.
Right. Which kind of puts you in the position of also being almost like sort of almost like in a legal kind of role, or like, you know, like you're kind of covering law as well. There's a different, you know, it's instead of being the 9 realms, there's 10 realms right now because Angela, who was revealed as like the lost sister of Thor, is associated essentially with heaven, or a version of heaven, that is part of the 9 realms, making them 10 realms now. But they are having a possible war with the light elves of Elfheim, I think is what it's called. And that's their kind of, I think, inspired by sort of Gaelic folklore and stuff like that.
There's some good writing in here, some good jokes that made me laugh.
Part of what's interesting is that it is, kind of like the other one. It's kind of a fun book.
It is,
but there is also some very cool ideas, like about how Asgardian magic works. Like Doctor Strange was having to do spells, do magic stuff just to learn Asgardian magic. Because he had a different type, you know, his was more reliant on. He has his amulets and his weapons of power. And one of the Asgardian, one of their magic users, they were like making fun of him for that. And but he kind of wasn't having it. I appreciate that. He's like, I've never found it a bad idea to have the right tools or whatever. Yeah. And so, but there is some lightness in this too. There's this age-old difference between them that has to do with a body.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I'd like to see the body, and you'll find out what happens. But they're like, it's going to come back to life, just so you know. So this is like crazy. He's got Asgard problems.
Mo Asgard problems.
Mo Asgard money, Mo Asgard problems. And I think it's super refreshing. I would not have thought a Doctor Strange and Asgard book was something I needed. Yeah. But I feel like it's a really strong idea.
Well, I think we've all read a ton of Doctor Strange, various things, and
great character.
A change of pace, a change of scenery is actually really welcome with a character like that.
Yeah, it's not too different from like the X-Men going into space for a while, or something like that.
Or the X-Men going to Asgard.
Which
turned out to be great. Yeah. We've got Hulk Smash Everything. Last week we read Infernal Hulk, which we all really liked.
Yep.
Infernal Hulk is definitely not for anyone. It's almost a Red Band book.
Yes.
And so
it
Marvel,
is a dark Hulk as terrifying monster kind of story, Hulk as disaster.
So Marvel wanted to have a slightly more all ages version of the Hulk out there too. Not that this is all ages tends to imply kitty. This is not really kitty.
No, this is just straight up Hulk book.
But
it's like the Savage Hulk.
Yeah. But it's written by Ryan North.
Who did recently Fantastic Four, One World Under Doom, Squirrel Girl back in the day, that kind of stuff.
Art by Vincenzo Caratu. Which is really nice art. I like this art a lot.
Yeah.
Like that shot of the Hulk, it's like his first splash is really good.
Great. Oh, Doctor Strange figures into this too, doesn't he?
It's Doctor Strange and Wong fighting the Hulk.
Yep.
They're trying to figure out why the Hulk is all aggro. Yeah. It involves a Hulk villain, which is what I thought was a clever use of him.
Yep.
And a scheme to steal from Doctor Strange. And it leads to a really interesting status quo for the Hulk at the end.
Yes, he is not in his normal place and time. There's something afoot.
But people like the Hulk smashing things and being kind of a savage Hulk, and that is what's going on here.
I was going to say, this is right there for you.
It's a pretty straightforward, solid Hulk book. I enjoyed this a lot. I thought the twists and turns were good, and I'm dying to see what issue 2 is after that cliffhanger.
Yep.
Wiccan Witch's Road is a new miniseries. Wiccan and his husband, Hulkling, had been working as part of the head of the Crisco Alliance. The Hulkling was actually the King Hulkling?
Emperor.
Prince Emperor Hulkling, yeah.
But because of events in Imperial, that has...
Now they are back on Earth. Hulkling is severely wounded, and in order to fix him, Billy is going to have to take them on the Witch's Road.
Yeah, I know this was, of the various books we've kind of preview read this week, this was Serena's favorite.
Yep.
There is a cool magic-themed character who shows up in this who...
The reveal on that's also
honestly
great.
doesn't show up too often in Marvel.
I don't think so.
But is a
before.
very powerful character that people will know from sort of folklore and
Has she
stuff
shown
like
up?
that.
Have they shown up before?
I think
I'm
it's,
sure that...
I didn't think they had.
I'm not sure.
I guarantee you at some point in all of Marvel's history, there's no way
I know
this
now
character
you're
hasn't
You're
shown
probably
up.
They
right.
showed up.
But none of us, I think, can easily recall it.
No.
And it seems like a weird miss, actually.
This is also the gayest Marvel comic I've ever read, and I mean that as a compliment.
Yep.
They're calling each other babe, and it's great. If there's a lot of stuff with gay characters, especially male gay couples, in TV, movies, comics, where they're very chaste.
Oh, right.
It's very like they want to have their cake and eat it too, so they don't want to put off the homophobes and have them like, oh, don't show them kiss, don't show them being affectionate, don't
Even though if it was a straight couple, they do that all the time.
yeah. And so they're a couple. They're a married gay couple, and it's really sweet, and it's good to see, even in the sort of the dire times that they're in.
Yep.
They're a very solid couple, and I liked that a lot. This is an interesting one. Ultimate Universe 2 years in, just before they close the doors on the Ultimate Universe, they do this big tour of their like space area with.
I know that the Ultimate Guardians are like.
They're from the 61st century.
Okay.
They come from a future that was destroyed when the Maker wiped out all the superhero origins. So they're like out of time, and their group is like Captain Marvel, who is a blue-skinned Kree in this one.
Okay.
Star-Lord, who seems to have like almost like science fiction-y kung fu powers.
Okay.
Phoenix, Ultimate Nullifier, who I believe is Marvel, or not Marvel, who's Grant Morrison's guy, Novar.
Oh, yeah.
He's got like Ultimate Nullifier guns, and they're led by Cosmo, the best dog ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
And this is them going through a bunch of stuff in space, trying to figure out what's going on. There's an Ultron that's causing problems that reminds me of the Ultron from what is that Jim Krueger, Alex Ross thing, Earth X?
Oh, yeah.
He's got kind of a see-through skin. He looks a little more like that Machine Man.
Right.
But yeah, it's a weird big cosmic book for the Ultimate Universe.
I have this feeling that the supposed wrap on the Ultimate Universe, I just don't believe it.
We'll see.
I think it's going to transmogrify into something else, lead into something. I can also see them putting it down for a little while, return when it's special, but I bet it's got a next stage when it wraps.
We'll see. This also introduces Ultimate Daredevil
Right.
in the middle of it.
Yep.
All right. DCKO continues this week, so they are doing what they call Fight Month.
Yep.
There are going to be... We are down to the 16 people after the events of KO number 2, which we all really enjoyed last week.
Yeah.
Right. I think we can sort of say that was like kind of what happened in that without saying all the details about it. But it was a sort of a weapons hunt, a treasure hunt on this planet surface for like Green Lantern rings and cosmic rods and all these other...
It was a giant free-for-all.
Yep.
Yeah, where like these guys are all racing around to find it, and the stuff that they were able to get is stuff that they're gonna be able to like use in their fights. And it was also, by the way, it was super fun to watch. It reminded me of the best of Secret Wars and also Contest of Champions way back in the way back days. But the actual fights, I early on I wasn't quite clear on how this was gonna work. The actual fights will get one-shots like this?
Not all the fights. This round. Because there are 16 people, so there's going to be 8 one-shots.
Okay.
One-shots like this one. This week is Superman versus Captain Atom.
Yep.
But some of them will be in the pages of Aquaman, Flash, Titans.
I gotcha.
But they'll all be one-shots. So there's going to be 8 issues that are going to be the big fights. And then KO3 will be the 8 people left fighting. So they won't do this for everything. It's just because they had so many fights... It's not all going to fit in one comic issue, which I think is smart, actually.
Yeah, and this does allow them to kind of... I think this delivered part of what drew people into this, which is the idea of like some straight-up Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat-style extended knockdown, drag-out fights.
Yeah. Because Superman and Captain Atom have to fight at a level they wouldn't usually fight. They have to fight like Darkseid would. They're using special weaponry.
You don't get to become King Omega unless you fight tough.
Yeah, not pulling punches. They actually are legitimately angry at each other for reasons I thought both characters were done well.
Yeah,
I didn't think they sold either one.
They got in the headspace of them, And I thought there was a very neat thing in here that's a simple idea that I think was very effective, which is you have to win 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 is such a... When you said that, Dave, after we both read it, I was like, oh, man, I hadn't thought about it, but it's so clever because that means your favorite gets to win at least once. And then they decide who wins.
But probably.
Unless there's one where the guy just wins twice.
Someone's going to get clean.
Yeah.
See, my small thing that I really loved was the choose your form.
It's like they kind of have access to their different incarnations throughout the years.
It's a very video gamey.
It is 100% video game
pick
thing.
what skin do you want to use, or like be like, do you want to be electric Superman, like Superman Blue, or do you want to be Superman Gold from the current comics? Do you want to be All-Star Superman? That kind of thing.
And there's some deep cuts on on choose your form.
Dave and I in particular were happy to see a Captain Adam reference from like 2001.
Oh wow,
that was pretty fun.
It was actually from the 90s.
But I don't know.
You're right. It's 91. Yeah.
I don't know a ton about Captain Adam, so I didn't 100% get that reference, but I really enjoyed his portrayal in this. It felt kind of what I know of him from the books I've read.
He's
and
a bit more military, more hard ass. He's had to sort of felt like he's had to fight all his life, and his discipline is what gets him his victories. And he kind of resents sometimes somebody like Superman not kind of, I think, thinking more tactically and stuff like that. Yeah. He's like, I need to win this because somebody like you can't do what needs to be done to stop Darkseid. And I was like, that's a very reasonable perspective from him. Yeah. Anyway,
I always knew him as the guy who got punched so much that he would fly off into space and explode. Because that's what he did in Justice League.
Yeah, that does. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was. I mean,
he tends to have a difficult time because his suit is a containment suit. He's like nuclear superpower.
Yeah, he's nuclear energy.
But this was a really good. This is a good one shot.
I think it's going to deliver
promise.
Like there's a little bit of honestly the Snyderverse style fighting.
Yeah.
Like that first shot that Captain Adam gets in, you see like him go through through 3 buildings, and the windows are exploding out on every single floor of every single one of them. Like it's big stuff. But anyway, it bodes well. I'm looking forward to these various fights now. Also, it's not a big part of this, but the locations do change on them a few times, and so I expect that will be a thing in all of the others as well.
Video game thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They need to have one where they're fighting in a junkyard, and one that's in front of the military air base.
And then they need to smash a car.
And then you smash a car.
Batman Night Fight, another KO. He got booted out by the Joker. Joker's trickery.
Right. That was happened in the first issue.
Now he's in a backup space that was he created somehow. I don't remember exactly.
He was wearing apocalyptic armor that boom tubed him out, but it didn't quite work.
He got shunted to an alternate world.
Yeah.
Where things have gone bad, sort of.
He's like the heart of
and he found himself fighting the very Robins and Nightwings and stuff he once trained because of events that have happened there.
Right. So this issue is the Red Hood Batman versus Batman. And,
basically Night Fight is kind of Batman versus various Batman allies, enemies kind of people.
Yeah. It was an interesting one.
It's a good issue. Yeah.
And I liked the costume for the Red Hood Batman.
Me too. It was
cool.
Yeah. This is Dan Mora on art. Yeah, it's Dan Mora on art. And Josh Williamson writing.
Mora gets to design cool Batmans.
He does.
That's just sure.
There is also Batman number 4 hits this week.
I want to just quick say before we go into it,
one
of the variant covers shows his utility belt. And speaking of cool design, I don't know if you looked at this cover, Nick.
I haven't.
It's so cool. It just looks like it works.
Well, the design work,
it's got the classic kind of capsule thing, but I almost feel like it's it looks like that's a little button, and you double tap that, and the capsule will pop off.
Oh, that's cool.
It kind of. It doesn't label it. It just looks like it works.
It sounds like it's reminiscent of the old Ohatmu schematics.
It's detailed, but not over detailed, and it's not telling you how it works. Again, it's just a cool visual of the belt laid out.
Speaking of this issue, though,
but this issue, I think, among other things, it does reveal the nature of the big bad in it.
Yep,
the person who's been villain. Sort of consolidating the criminals in there, exactly what it is they're doing, and it's pretty cool.
I would say this is one of the best additions to the Batman world in a little while.
Yeah,
he's creepy.
Tynion added a bunch of interesting new villains and stuff too, but this is a new villain who also he's heading up a crime syndicate that has a bunch of familiar faces in it.
Right.
which was really cool.
Right, like he is, just as a random example, the Penguin is folded into his, covering the sort of the Thieves Guild aspect of his stuff.
The idea of sort of the 7 families gives a lot of shape to Gotham. Fraction's doing a lot of like infrastructure work here, because he also introduces a young woman who's a scientist who's trying to do something.
Right, that is interesting, and there's just like the little hint of a little flirtation going on there, maybe a little bit more than a hint of it.
There's
it's actually a very fun scene with her and Batman.
There's a formerly drunk reporter down his luck who's like the independent reporter who's working with a kid. He's building a lot of stuff, and it's also there's Batman has a throwdown with a Batman villain who I haven't seen in a while.
I liked seeing this Batman villain. It's kind of on the frenemy side of things.
Yeah.
But it's a character that doesn't get used too often, and I liked seeing.
Also, we should talk. The art by Jorge Jimenez is spectacular.
I think it's some of the best superhero art going on right now.
Go ahead.
Well, we talked about, even in the first issue, there was this kind of like occasionally this sense of jumping around and getting a sense of like news reports and things like that of what's going on in Gotham.
Yep.
Gotham, more than it has in a long time, really feels like a living, breathing place.
Yep.
Rucka and his guys and Brubaker and stuff, they invested this kind of thoughtfulness too, and this seems like a new take on it. And I kind of appreciate that this is it has this sort of superhero energy that Fraction wants going on in it.
Yep.
But there is like some serious crime stuff going on too. It's just kind of elevated crime.
There's some dark crime stuff in there. There is a moment that I was like, oh, well, we're going there.
Yeah.
Also worth noting, Batman #1, we get a new printing of this week, so we now have, for however long it lasts, Batman 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right, you could get completely caught up on this.
Check the series out.
Series that is buzzing hard and would probably be like our best-selling comic if Absolute Batman wasn't like such a mega crazy hit.
Yeah.
But it's a good time to be a Batman fan.
Trigger Warning, which is a one-shot Strangers in Paradise story. This is the Strangers in Paradise in the Old West by Terry Moore.
It's a weird but fun idea. It's just a one-shot, so it's a little light. But yeah, if you wanted, Francine and Kachu have been one of the fun queer couples in comics since the 90s.
Yep.
And this re-envisions them in an Old West setting,
Terry Moore's art is really, really good. If you have not seen his stuff, it's spectacular stuff.
Yeah, he was part of the original black and white boom in the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the 80s kind of had the first black and white boom. But there was a boom in the early 90s when Bone and all that stuff was hitting. Yep. And he was part of that, and he stayed true to his roots.
Yep.
Like he reprints his stuff in these beautiful, larger volumes, but generally sticks to black and white.
Yep. We have a lot of his stuff in the bestsellers. I like a lot of his different stuff.
Yep.
The Terminator Santa Claus is coming to town. It's the Terminator Christmas special.
Yes. This is a weird, it's kind of like cartoonily drawn, or just like, I'm trying to think who would be like the equivalent of it. It's like more cartoony than Phil Hester.
Yeah.
But like not like silly cartoony. It's just because people get killed in this.
Yeah, for sure.
But the long story short is there is a people, like the survivors in the, the what do you call it, Judgment Day times.
Yep. Yeah, this is in the future.
They get to talking at some point about, hey, like sort of like, hey, do you guys remember Christmas? Like, what did y'all do then? And so they're kind of telling some stories and reminiscing about it. And meanwhile, a Terminator, in trying to like, cloak itself in human stuff, has put itself in a Santa suit.
Yep.
And they have to battle with this thing. And like, not everybody makes it in this. It's not like
they're being chased down by a Santa Terminator.
It's not some super sweet thing, but it does have a kind of a nice ending. I appreciated it.
Inferno Go Red gets a book 2. This is another from the what do they call it? Massive Verse, the Radiant Black. Yeah. So that gets another new miniseries. The Dreadnought War has part 3, and the G.I. Joe Dreadnought War.
Incredibly fun issue.
Really enjoying this. I love that it's bi-weekly, so we get to see all this happen so fast. It's basically a Duke and Cobra Commander having to team up.
They're on the run together.
From the
Dreadnoughts.
Dreadnoughts.
Trying to stay alive. The Dreadnoughts are brutal.
Introduces Road Pig.
Man. There's a
this is such a cool...
because he isn't a Dreadnought yet, when he runs into them, it is like this. He's this giant, right?
Yep.
He's just a monster. He feels like he's out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He's like wearing like a pig head and stuff like that, and he is fighting with the Dreadnoughts, but also just like insta takes down kind of like what is it? Cobra Commander and Duke.
Yep.
And like hangs him up on like hooks and stuff like that in his basement.
Yep.
Very Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And there is a great series of pages where the two of them are hanging there, and they kind of get to talking.
Yep.
And it's actually really pretty interesting. There's also some great fights in this. There's some funny stuff.
The art is really good.
Yep, I agree. It's one of those where like all the sort of subplots are fun. There's the fun stuff with like this little framing story with Clutch and CoverGirl.
Yep.
There's a surprise meeting between General Flag and some kind of bad guy person that's an interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of fun stuff, which is generally what I want in G.I. Joe, even if it's not going to be Larry Hama, is to reflect at least that thing that he did where every issue kind of felt like a little bit full. Like you had like an A story, a B story, and a C story, and they were all kind of interesting little intrigues.
Yeah.
And I think that Josh Williamson is really pulling that off.
Yep. We got a Street Fighter Zangief one-shot.
Yes, if you've been dying for more Zangief in your life.
And who hasn't?
You know what? I flipped through this and the art was quite nice.
It is really
and
nice.
It looked like some fun Zangief side story. I'd recommend it based on if you have some love for the game.
We also have two Christmas specials. One is Dread the Halls #1.
These are both from Image. These are both anthologies.
Yep. And then the other
Dread
one
the
is...
Halls is like the horror Christmas
Yep.
one.
And then there's Startling Tales of Santa Claus, which I believe also features the Krampus.
Yep, they described it as a sort of fantasy-themed ones. I think this one has like a thing where like, is it like what it's like when you have a world without a Krampus or something like that, and
Yep.
like how that goes awry. There were some fun premises in this. Dread the Halls, I know, had a story that I think begins like literally like the Hallmark holiday movies thing. A woman's car has a tire blowout, and she's the big city girl. It's a small town with a handsome guy who's like, I actually run the inn or whatever. But it turns into like a sort of horror theme, and if you like your stuff a little twisted, there's also, I believe, a twisted take on A Christmas Carol in there. I know some of y'all horror freaks like a twisted holiday stuff, and there is even a tradition of some Christmas holiday movies, that some of which are even pretty good. You might consider those.
Venom number 252 is so the original Spider-Man costume, the black costume thing, was Amazing Spider-Man 252. So this is like it's a slightly oversized issue as they pay homage to that. How Marvel has to make up any kind of reason to do double-sized issues.
It's true.
So this had the famous cover of him doing his Amazing Fantasy swinging, but he's in the black costume.
Yep.
It says the rumors are true. Introducing the new Spider-Man. This is the same vibe. Basically, Mary Jane has decided to look like Spider-Man and pretend to be Spider-Man while wearing the Venom symbiote to throw down with Doc Ock. It's a fun lead-in issue.
I am behind on this series by like an issue or two, but it never failed to entertain me. Is it Al Ewing on this one, or is that the other one?
Yep, that's Al Ewing.
Okay, so I know I will catch up soon. That all sounds fun.
There's also, in addition to that, there's a backup story with Eddie Parker.
Eddie Parker.
He's from Earth 8294.
Okay. He's
basically a thief who winds up getting the Venom symbiote. And I believe this is the character who showed up in that Battle World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're introducing an alternate world, Eddie Parker. I'm not sure exactly the deal. And then there's a backup story by Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz, who did the original, some of the Black Costume Spider-Man stuff. And this is sort of takes place during that era. A little bit of a throwback.
You don't want Ron enemies. You want Ron friends.
Yeah. Fantastic Four has a start of a new story that I believe is going to tie into the Malice persona of the Invisible Woman, because that is in Marvel Rivals. In this one,
is it?
In this one, a FFO reprograms a lot of people to face off with the FF, and they have to figure out a way around it. It's another solid one-off story.
Is it still Ryan North?
Still Ryan North, except at the end they get a mysterious message from an even bigger foe that is going to lead into something going on with Sue.
Okay.
The Age of Revelation continues to move on. It's going to end on...
This is the X-Men Age of Revelation crossover.
Yep. This will end on New Year's Day.
Okay.
With the finale that will explain what all is going to happen. But there's 3 issues this week. Amazing X-Men, which is really the spine of it. It's Jed McKay, who's been doing X-Men. It is Cyclops and Beast, who've been drawn into the future. The Resistance team featuring a murderous Glob.
Oh, yeah.
That's the character Glob, by the way.
He has become sort of the, like John Connor.
Yeah, he's a badass.
He's the ultimate.
There's also a character I never expect to see in here again, WizKid.
Yeah.
From X-Terminators.
True.
Oh, wow. Deep cuts.
Yeah, some deep cuts. Binary, which wraps up the story of Carol Danvers and Phoenix, and Laura Kinney Sabretooth, which is dealing with some of the Apocalypse stuff, and Laura Kinney, a.k.a. Laura Kinney Wolverine, a.k.a. X-23. So they're getting to the right. These are all 3-issue miniseries, so they're wrapping it pretty quickly.
Yep.
This is all different aspects, different angles of the story. Absolute Green Lantern continues the flashback story of how Joe Mullen became a Green Lantern.
Yep.
Features some obscure characters. Johnny Double, the crime character.
Wow.
Nemesis from Suicide Squad.
Yep. I do like some.
And Cameron Chase, who is Joe's ex-wife.
Okay.
They're doing some interesting backstory. It's a little less weird than the book has been in some ways, but also still weird in other ways. It's another Al Ewing book. I wasn't sure where I was on Absolute Green Lantern, but these last 2 issues I've really enjoyed.
Al Ewing is an interesting writer, and he can sometimes feel a little, not all over the place, but his ambitions are sometimes a little big. But moment to moment, he will reel me back in. Like he didn't he write Absolute
Evil.
Absolute Evil.
That's right, he did.
The one-off, and I was like, man, that was so good.
Yep.
And, we were, both of us, I think, are kind of in agreement on this, Randy. We lost track of his recent Thor run.
Yep.
But whenever I read an issue or find out about some of the stuff that happens, I'm always like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
What a cool idea. And he's always using deep cuts from Marvel continuity.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can tell, he's not doing it in a throwaway way. Like, he knows what he's doing and he keeps true to the characters while at the same time kind of pushing them forward.
Yep.
So I need to catch up.
And then Murder Podcast number 3, the horror book from Ignition Press, comes out this week. I'll also join that. Any other single issues I missed?
No, keep going.
I was just going to mention, I haven't read it yet. I haven't had time to read everything this week, but Gotham Academy number 3 hit. It's a series that's a little hit and miss for me, but I'm always compelled to keep up with it. I still think it's a neat idea, and they do sometimes hit some nice highs in that book. So, it's the Hogwarts Gotham Academy kind of thing wouldn't it be kind of cool and weird and fun to go to this creepy prep school in Gotham City?
We also got Skinbreaker number 1 and 2 back in.
Oh, yeah.
So we have Skinbreaker 1 through 3, the Robert Kirkman sort of fantasy thing with David Finch on art.
Yep, something that apparently had been working on for years, but it took a while because David Finch is a slow artist. Mm-hmm. But it is a kind of a fantasy series, if you will, about a sort of almost about the politics of kind of tribal politics of basically almost like a band of orcs.
Yeah.
But it just happens to be on another planet, so technically it's sci-fi, but the feel is fantasy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's cool stuff. If you like that sort of brutal tradition that Kirkman comes from, whether it's Walking Dead or Invincible, this has some of what you like, and it's got cool art from that guy, David Finch, and it has space orcs. But you know what? The other thing is there is some depth to it. We talked about this when we reviewed the first issue, saying that there is an interesting thing where the current tribal guy who's about to be succeeded at some point by someone else, he's kind of getting older and showing it, and there's a decent sort of second in command for him, but who doesn't want the role. But it's well, if I don't take it, there's a person who's a pretty bad person who might get this role. Yep. And so there's kind of a complex web of intrigue as to can they, using the kind of dynamics of their tribal laws and things like that, can this guy achieve some stability for them? And there may even be some relevance of that to our present day.
We got the hardcover Batman the Demon trilogy.
Oh yeah,
this is
the demon being Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. This is original graphic novels by Mike W. Barr. There were different artists. Tom Grindberg, I think, was on one. Yep. The third one that is the actual the origin of Ra's al Ghul it took them a while to get to. It has sort of a painted art by Norm Brayfogle.
Yeah,
He was a really good artist, and this is one of the only things he ever painted.
Yeah, that is a sad loss, but man, that guy left a mark.
So yeah, this is a good hardcover. I have all these in like the original graphic novel form. Some of them have been out of print for like 20, 30 years.
That's a pretty cool get.
Yeah,
if you
definitely worth a look. We also got a new deluxe edition of New Teen Titans Judas Contract. Also fancy hardcover.
Maybe the most, what Dark Phoenix is to the X-Men, this is to the Teen Titans. It's the story that reveals through flashbacks the origin of their biggest foe, the Deathstroke, the Terminator, Slade, whatever you want to call him.
Yep.
It had the betrayal of Terra and the first appearance of Nightwing. Like, my God.
Yep.
Like, this is a crazy amount of stuff. And along the way, a bunch of cool stuff happens in it. Like, it is a great series.
We've got the all-new Wolverine Modern Era Epic Collection Four Sisters, which is the first half of Tom Taylor's run.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is a take on Laura that I really liked. It's my favorite version of the character.
Sorry, what is this?
All new Wolverine.
Yeah, what
Tom Taylor's?
They're collecting it?
Yeah, it's an epic collection.
It's one of the epic collections. So you're going to get these are these bigger chunks ones that you get that kind of also include sometimes little side stories and things that wouldn't otherwise always be reprinted, but they kind of they give you it all.
Introduces like Gabby.
Introduces Gabby, aka
Honey Badger,
aka Scout. Is what they call her. Honey Badger, a better name.
But this is kind of like
that's cool that they're doing this, since we know that they are kind of. They're taking her in the more hardcore.
Yeah, they're definitely taking her more in
the present, but that was not what this was.
This was the version that I wanted. This was the Laura Kinney who basically
she kind of made peace with her past a little bit. Yeah,
made peace with herself and became something different.
And it's, it's called Four Sisters because it is her and several clones of her, including Gabby, and so it's about like her dealing with a version of herself that's a little more edgy, a little more dangerous, and also a younger version of herself that's more innocent.
I hadn't even... This is dumb, but I don't know if I'd really kind of registered that when they did the crossovers recently and Nightwing teamed up with X-23, that Tom Taylor had written X-23.
You didn't realize that? That was why they did it.
Well, I didn't read that run.
Oh.
I thought it was because they were both disciples of their sort of the biggest heroes of both companies, Wolverine and Batman. Yeah. And, but... It does occur to me that I think what he kind of maybe wanted to do with Laura Kinney was kind of what he did do and had already been happening with Nightwing, which is to say Batman we know is a grimdark guy who has problems, and Nightwing is the sort of more perfected, less damaged version of Batman. I think he wanted her to be the more perfected, less damaged version of Wolverine.
He did, but nobody wants that.
And then nobody quite wanted it.
Except for me and Nick.
Except for you and Nick. You know what? It sold well enough to get an epic collection, I think people,
not just one. It's a 30-issue run. There's another one coming,
and I think people will dig it.
I have this whole thing in hardcover. It's a great read. I think it had some Bruno Redondo art. It's the same guy.
I remember some really good art.
It's got David Lopez on art, who's great. It's fun. It's action packed. It's really really good, and I'm glad to see it getting a collection. We have the Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe One Last Time trade. This was a book that made me read a Deadpool miniseries where Deadpool was at the behest of some cosmic force going through alternate universes and killing very dangerous metahumans.
This was
and it goes into some deep cut references to
This is surprisingly fun. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did.
It is. It feels like Cullen Bunn did take notes from the Deadpool Wolverine movie about doing some of the multiverse stuff. Some of the Deadpool's fourth wall breaking can work with like multiverse kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a name for myself.
We got the hardcover of Sister Imperator. This is a Dark Horse book tied into a band. I don't remember the band's name.
It's
Witch or Devil or something. Yeah,
favorite.
It is. It's former head of the clergy.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I thought it was something else.
I thought it was something else. Maybe that's like part of this, because there's all this lore with it.
No, that's who Sister Imperator is. The clergy is the name of the band, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look.
Metal band is called Ghost.
Yes, that fits. Anyway, if you happen to be a listener, you're listening to us and you're like, who are these stupid idiots? They don't know shit.
No, we don't know anything about Ghost or Sister Imperator.
And that is actually true.
People liked it.
That is true. If you are one of the cultists who like this band, then there's a comic now for you.
Yep.
And you might also want to look into the weird Coheed and Cambria comics.
Right. Yeah. And please don't kill us.
And please don't kill us.
TMNT's original motion picture special edition 35th anniversary trade. This is a reprint of the
adaptation of the movie.
The adaptation of the movie that was done by what's his name?
Eastman or Laird?
Eastman and Laird.
Now that you say that, I remember that was a thing.
Yeah. So if you want some more Eastman and Laird, you can get it here.
That's kind of cool. That would have been like. Can you imagine if it'd be super weird, of course, but if Jack Kirby and Stan Lee had adapted Avengers Endgame or something that, or the Marvel movies.
That is kind of like what it is. That's what this is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that happened. It makes more sense from a smaller indie publisher like a creator-owned thing like the Turtles were.
And then lastly, and this is not all the trades. Always I give a few spotlights, but a quick and easy guide to healthy relationships. This is the same people that do the quick and easy guide to trans identities and to non-binary, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Little small informative comic guidebooks that will walk you through what can sometimes be confusing, even if you're trying to be a cool and progressive person, and we all, I hopefully are. But it can, you can still get mixed up, and generally, if you're trying, you're doing a good job. But this will help you out. These have some great ones and some good ideas.
All right, that is comics for the week. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk about various other pop culture stuff. All right, we got a few tidbits of news to talk about. First thing was the thing Dave saw. They're doing a movie adaptation of a YouTube short called Portrait of God.
Yep.
This is a horror short by Dylan Clark.
Yep. Who I believe will be directing the feature-length version. What's kind of notable is the people producing this.
Yeah, it's Sam Raimi and Jordan Peele together producing it.
Yeah.
Now, how much they're working together, it may just be they both threw money at it.
Right. But presumably it exhibits some level of confidence in the original short.
So, have you seen this short?
Yes. I saw it like a year or two ago, but I rewatched it just this Halloween when I was visiting a friend, and I was like, oh, you know what? Let's pass some time by watching a few good YouTube scary shorts. And some of these have actually. Do you ever see that one, Lights Out?
Yeah,
the spooky one, and then they turned it into an actually pretty decent kind of PG-13 horror movie that I thought actually had a pretty decent story. And there have been a few other ones like that. From Creepypasta, what's that one? The Possession or whatever, or Possession?
Was that?
Or it was the one with the box in it.
Oh, with the Dybbuk box.
The Dybbuk box, yeah. That came from a Creepypasta before that term was even used. It was a eBay write up. They're like, hey, you might not. I'm looking to get rid of this box, but you might not want it because there's some weird stuff that happened with it. And in good faith, I have to tell you what weird thing. And so he wrote this kind of creepy entry, but it was a fake eBay entry.
I didn't know that's where it came from.
They significantly changed it for the movie, and this probably will too. But anyway, yeah, there's some very good spooky shorts, and some of them are just jump scare shorts. This one is a little bit deeper, even though it's only like maybe 10 minutes long or something like that. But I can't say the structure of it is. You see this woman who looks like she's preparing like a grad student presentation or something like that, or a thesis or something like that, and she's got like a slideshow or I guess it'd be a PowerPoint kind of thing now.
Yeah.
And she's practicing her narration for it in a kind of dimly lit room. And she says, take a look at this. I'm going to show you a picture of a painting. And she's like, and I want you to tell me what you see in it. And she said, you hear her hit the little button that jumps to the next image. And it looks like it's just blackness on the screen, small screen in the room she's in, and she's like, if you don't see anything, that's okay. That's normal. Most people don't see anything. She's like, but there is a small number of people who describe seeing a really disturbing image that looks like a human, but something is off about it, and it's. But they also. I forget what it is, but she says something like, but they also feel it's like an almost religious experience. While she's talking about this, you see that she's holding this crucifix, and it becomes clear she has not ever seen whatever it is. But she's wishing on some level, why can't I see it? I have faith, why can't I see it? and sort of before the short is over, she will have an experience with this thing.
Oh, interesting.
And it's very creepy because basically the camera just holds on this dark image for, like, I don't know, it's like 10 or 20 seconds pass, and then you're kind of like watching and you're like, I think I do see something there. And it's spooky.
It seems like a knife point or something like
yeah,
you would listen to.
There is for something that is that short, and a lot of these you can't do much more than a quick high concept jump scare piece. The one where the woman is in bed and you see her husband's in bed next to her. You only see kind of like the outline of him under the covers.
Yeah.
And there's a phone call and she picks it up and he's like, and you hear a voice and he's like, hey hon, I had to stay late, I'm not, I'll be home in an hour.
Right.
And then she kind of looks back at this like mass next to her, and you see from the other side of the bed this terrifying ghoulish face under it. Most of them are honestly like that, a pretty decent jump scare or a creepy idea. The Portrait of God one promises a little bit more and does seem like something that can be expanded on.
Okay.
So I'm a little nervous. I feel it's actually very confidently directed. So the short was like, it felt professional. It's a little weird that he's directing the movie. Like, that's a pretty big thing.
Well, he's probably got a larger idea that he wants to enact.
I suspect so. So I will for sure be keeping my eyes on this, and I would recommend that people just go watch the short, if nothing else. It's,
let me check it
type
out.
in Portrait of God on YouTube and you'll get there.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. They announced that the Stranger Things finale is going to be in 500 theaters on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
It's kind of cool.
Basically, you buy a voucher to save a seat, essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
A voucher.
Yeah, it's
not like just normal tickets, or
no. It's you're guaranteed a seat. It's not like you're buying basically they're selling concession vouchers, and then the theater owners will keep the revenue from the screenings. So that basically the theaters get the credit for it, but Netflix is arranged.
Okay.
So I think it's.
Is it going to look the same for people who want to see it? Like, you'll still just buy tickets?
You still just buy a ticket, but you got to go. You've got to go do it now. You got to look. Variety has an article you can look up and find. I saw that Cinemark has spots and that kind of thing. I can't decide. I would like to do this, but I'm like, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I'll be working New Year's Eve because it's Wednesday.
Right.
And New Year's Day, I usually do like gaming or stuff, so I don't know if I'll be able to pull this off.
I'd kind of like to do it. I
kind of would too. Yeah.
I think so I've only been able to watch one episode of the 4 that they've released. I think y'all have watched all of them.
I have.
But I think we're all liking it.
Yeah.
I think it's all been fun revisits.
We can start. Let's just cycle right through to talking about that. We don't want to talk about too much because Dave's only seen one.
Right, and I understand that there's some big things that happen, so please do not spoil.
Yeah. Yeah, we thought we'd just say, we won't do spoilers, but basically saying that we really liked it. I think we're all enjoying. I worried.
I think we can talk about like basic premise. This, like, if you haven't, I think people might have already tried it. Like, you may already well know all this stuff if you're any fan at all. But Hawkins is essentially kind of in a lockdown mode. They've got like
after the end of the last one where Vecna opens up his gates and craziness is afoot.
Right, so there is like still like school and life goes on as normal, but it seems like getting in and out of the city is controlled.
Yep.
Right.
And does that mean that the rest of the world does know something about something?
There was I think TWA or Southwest, somebody posted a thing that was like hey, all flights to Hawkins, Indiana have been suspended.
Oh, that's
so like
cool.
They did a little
I love
nod.
that.
So the military has basically quarantined the city.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then center of town has become sort of their base.
Yeah.
And
they're looking for 11, who is hiding out with Hopper and Joyce.
And she's doing this cool like obstacle course training stuff to get back to using her powers, and is kind of hard ass pushing herself to be as strong as she can be.
This episode is called The Crawl. Which is a reference to the thing they've been doing is basically
the military.
The military does things they call a burn, where they use flamethrowers to like clear the gate and send trucks into the Upside Down.
Yep.
And when they do that, Hopper goes into a place they know how to get to the Upside Down and is looking for Vecna, who they think is still
Basically, the
alive.
kids coincide their own mission with the military missions.
Yep.
The military, are they just in there to, like, literally destroy Upside Down
Well,
stuff?
they're doing like resupplies
they're-
and
they're-
things
yeah,
like that.
because they actually have, like, stations.
They have a
that
base
set
They
up.
have a base
Yeah, which is
upside
cool
down.
and weird and cool. But yeah, they will try and, like, through with walkie-talkies and other stuff, they will try and sort of track the military stuff from above and use it to, like, mark off as kind of like on a grid that they've been doing as they try and pin down Vecna for sort of a final confrontation. Anyway, it was very cool to see the kids both organized, but also all dealing with the kind of their own stuff, including notably, like, Dustin is still not really over Eddie's death.
Dustin has modified his personality. He's now being a
kind of
little
become
more
more
swaggering, like Eddie. Yeah.
Yep. He was a little bit more in your face with people and not the kind of the happy-go-lucky one.
Doesn't take any shit. Even though he's not like the strongest man in the world.
So
yes.
I was worried going into this thing we all were that it was going to be like, oh, look at these kids. They're all in their 30s and have beards. And they did a pretty good job.
Clearly filmed a few years ago. Maybe also a little bit of digital de-aging.
Like Mike, Mike knows Lucas. Lucas definitely had a growth spurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
But like you pointed out, that happens.
It's within the growth spurt tolerances of actual high school.
I'll be upfront. I was not bothered at all.
Me neither. Nothing bothered me.
It felt normal.
Yep.
And honestly, watching, no spoilers, but it felt like a warm hug. I was returning to friends.
Yeah. Yep.
And into this story that has evolved and become more dangerous, and characters are changing.
Yeah.
And
you know who I loved seeing in it was, I'm not going to be able to remember the guy, but who's the guy who I think went with Joyce to Russia?
That guy Brett.
He's a stand-up.
He's like a paranoid guy who kind of turned out to be right about some stuff.
Yeah, he's a conspiracy theorist who
he guessed that there was like Russian.
Brett Gelman is the guy's name. He plays Murray Bauman.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, I love Murray.
He is the guy who is like getting stuff from the outside world and coming in a truck, and basically is like the black market for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great character, and that actor is always hilarious.
Yep.
Like I say, Nick and I have watched 2 through 4, and there's a lot of twists and turns coming.
Yeah, I bet.
But this was a really good opening. It made me want to go back and rewatch all the Stranger Things.
I was sort of surprised there. I have seen some people who were just like, it wasn't worth the wait. Oh, they couldn't keep up with it.
Yep.
I feel like people might have been like a little bit looking for stuff to knock it down with. I'm like, yes, it has been a while, but you know what? You can't help when a pandemic or a writer's strike or whatever happens. But all of that stuff happened.
And also, I'm glad they didn't rush it into like something cheaper,
like a mediocre thing. A big send-off feels appropriate. This was kind of a big cultural thing. And you know what it reminds me of a little bit, like the Harry Potter phenomenon at its peak, where people kind of grew up with it. There are kids who grew up with Stranger Things. It was kind of their first spooky thing that their parents let them watch, and now 10 years later they're probably watching full-on horror, terrifying stuff. But yeah, I'm like, I was never the biggest Stranger Things fan. I kind of grew up with the stuff that influenced it, so I was a little even kind of against it early on. But once I kind of unclenched a little bit and started enjoying it, I was like, you know what, this is a really fun time. It's smartly written, it's clever, and it's spooky in all the cool ways. And I felt like I was revisiting old friends, just like you were saying, Nick.
Yeah,
and I've come to care about these characters.
Yeah,
like, I like Mike. I like.
So
let's talk about Maya Hawke for just a second.
Oh, Maya Hawke is great. This is Robin. They gave her a whole arc.
She's a DJ.
She's a DJ now at the local radio station, and
she's doing cool stuff too, like secretly getting out information to them with her DJ patter over songs.
Fun.
Which, by the way, that reference is kind of a reference to one of your favorite '80s movies, The Mist. Not The Mist.
Yeah, you're thinking of The Fog.
The Fog, which had that DJ character,
right? But also maybe in a roundabout way to The Warriors.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
because in The Warriors, the DJ there would send out. There was like a station coded that was like for send out coded messages to the gangs.
Yep.
And the Duffer Brothers know where their kind of things lie. I mean,
but that's like not something. If somebody was said that they were going to do like an '80s influenced show, you wouldn't assume that they're going to do that particular thing. That's why the Duffer Brothers. I think that's That's why they're good at what they do, is because will kind of pull from lesser expected areas.
Yeah.
There's a couple things I just want to put a pin in for next time, or maybe the time after. I did see Wake Up Dead Man, the third Knives Out installment in theaters. It's great. It hits Netflix next week.
I think it's next Friday.
So we'll probably talk about that after you all get a chance to see
I
it.
definitely want to see that.
I missed it in theaters, unfortunately.
Oh, is it gone? I thought it might still be in for another week.
I think it was... Maybe it's for another week, but I don't know if there's going to be time.
Well, I really enjoyed it. I've seen all of them in the theaters. I was glad I saw this in the theater. And then I also want to mention I picked up Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which is the side-scroller beat-em-up.
Oh, right.
It's about to look like an old, what do they call the Streets of Rage, or one of those
it's
games?
by the same
Final
guys that
Fight.
did a very
Final
popular
Fight,
one called TMNT Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
Which was so this one is based on the Annihilation
Deliberate throwback
storyline.
games, yeah.
And I've only played a little bit. I'm going to play a little more. We'll try to talk about it next week. And then, Nick, you and I both watched Nobody 2.
Yeah.
Which was Bob Odenkirk's Everyman Assassin
Action flick.
Yeah.
This is a dad action movie, right?
He is a dad.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was kind of... I wasn't expecting anything.
Right.
And I think that's where your expectations need to be, because I wasn't expecting anything. I was really entertained.
This is a pretty by-the-numbers badass assassin movie.
But if you want to watch...
he's a dad.
We watched the trailer for it a few months ago, and these aren't movies that I quite want to watch, but it was like a fun trailer.
The trailer gives you an accurate picture of what the movie is.
Yeah.
Although, I'm pretty sure they didn't tell us who the bad guy was in the trailer.
No, they didn't.
Which is a great reveal, and I love that character, and I thought, I love that actor in that role. This was really
very
fun.
over the top.
Yes, very over the top. This makes John Wick look practically realistic. It's so ridiculous how evil the bad guys are, what their schemes are. Christopher Lloyd plays his dad, who was a special op when he was a kid, and now he's like a crazy man.
And his brother is the RZA.
The RZA.
How does
Not his
that...
actual brother, his adoptive brother.
Brother. But it's fun to see him...
He shows up and does ninja shit at the end.
And I was like, hell
That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Bob
Odenkirk and the RZA.
And Christopher Lloyd.
It's a lot of fun.
It's fun.
Bob Odenkirk clearly enjoys doing this action-y stuff. It's kind of like when Liam Neeson made that turn. I'm like, oh, this is actually believable.
Well, and his wife, is it Connie Nielsen?
I can't remember. No, it can't be Connie Nielsen. Can't possibly be.
It's somebody... I recognize her. She's great. I love her.
Yeah. His wife is... Oh my God, is it Connie Nielsen?
God, I was right. Thought I was right.
Wow. I did not know that's who that was.
Yeah. This is a straight down the middle action flick.
Yeah.
And the villain is Colin Hanks.
Yes.
One of the villains is Colin Hanks.
Yes.
And he plays a hick over the top cop. I forget who the actor is who plays the sheriff, who's actually kind of a tool but becomes a good guy.
Oh yeah, he's not the sheriff. He's the boss of the bad guys. It's John Ortiz.
And he's been in a bunch of stuff.
He has. You've seen him in a ton of stuff.
He's one of those character actors. You'll be like, oh, from that thing.
Yeah.
The action is well choreographed.
Yeah.
Odenkirk is having a ton of fun.
Yep.
Sometimes it is fun to find these kind of movies that are kind of like unplug your brain and watch some shit blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's of a piece with like Novocaine that we saw also this year.
Yeah, agreed. I think those are about on the same level.
Yeah. Not amazing, but worth
if you've got Peacock,
worth your time.
If you've got Peacock, it's on there for free. Press play.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. And then I want to mention I watched for the first time It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh yeah,
which is a
not a brainless action movie.
A Frank Capra movie with Jimmy Stewart.
Yep.
And it is.
I think I always understood it to be, and I was kind of wrong, that it was just like this kind of feel good movie. That was Christmassy, even though it's not actually very Christmassy.
I thought it was a schmaltzy movie about a guy, an angel showing him how much good he'd done in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is what it's about, but that's not what the movie is.
Right, but that's what gets played up.
Yeah.
That's why I ignored it for the longest time.
The ending of it, the last 20 minutes get played up.
I was like, that's not My Christmas Family. My Christmas Family is freaking Griswolds, man. I want the chaos.
Yeah. But this is... So basically, George Bailey, played by
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart, he is his father runs the savings and loan in this small town, Bedford Falls. That old man Potter, the richest man in town, who basically controls everything, is trying to crush them the whole time because they are the only holdouts who will like get people out of the slums and let them buy their own houses and basically not foreclose on their mortgages and basically like they're the good bankers,
right?
And there's a lot of push pull going on between these guys who like they're not in it just for the money. They see themselves as part of the community, whereas Potter just wants to run everything.
You know, when they made this. The Great Depression it was like right behind them.
Yeah.
They had just gotten out of it, and they kind of, I think, knew that sort of villainy in a way that you kind of, you sort of feel like, oh, well, this is kind of going to be quaint or old-fashioned, but I'm like, oh, no, you will see the modern times in this movie.
I was going to say, unfortunately, we haven't learned.
It's also, it was made in 1946, so it's also right after World War II.
Yeah.
And that comes into his brother as a war hero.
Mm-hmm. Is it him who in the opening flashback that we see as a kid? Does he get the ear injury?
Yes. So he can't hear out of one ear.
Right. Yeah. Those sequences are dark.
Yeah. There's also like he saves the old man who's a pharmacist
who was kind of a little bit. He's got some mental decline.
His son dies. He gets a child and his son died, and he's distraught. And George, who's working in the pharmacy with him, basically saves him from accidentally poisoning this little girl.
Yep.
Yes.
And he gets hit for it. The guy's like, "You didn't deliver the pills. What are you doing?" He's like smacking him around.
Yep.
And then he reveals that no, you accidentally put poison in it. You were going to kill that kid. And the guy's like, "Oh my, this guy saved my life."
Right. Yeah. It's just I remember when I saw it for the first time, maybe 10 years ago, I was kind of shocked that the opening is kind of tough. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, it is. I mean, all bad things are happening. He saves his brother from drowning in the pool as a 12-year-old.
Yep.
But then he's having a hard time. He's living in this town, and we catch up to him as Jimmy Stewart. He's saved up money. He's about to go see the world, go to college. Go leave this small town that he's ready to get out of.
Yep.
And then his dad has a stroke, and he has to come back and run the business. And if he doesn't, they're going to hand the business over to Potter, and the whole town will go away. And so we watch him over and over again give up his own happiness for other people.
Right.
But there's also stuff with his wife, and
they develop his relationship with his wife and all that.
Good.
But he and his wife they're supposed to go on a honeymoon, and they wind up having to give all the money out to save the bank.
Yep.
There's a lot of this is about a guy who sacrifices his own happiness for other people.
Sure.
Yep.
And gets to a point where something happens where he starts considering suicide, and a goofy angel named Clarence comes down to basically stop him.
Yep.
And he doesn't believe him. And Clarence basically is talking to his boss, who's essentially God, and he's like,
I kind of love how they did it in some of those
really
things.
good.
It's very charming and kind of sly.
It's almost like they're on the radio with each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
But basically, George kind of wishes that he'd never been born. He's like, well, he could do that. So he's like, they show him a world where he's never been born, and he doesn't realize what's going on. Nobody knows him. He knows everybody. But the world it really is like Back to the Future 2 when they go to Biff's world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you see that the invisible small goods that he didn't see every day is what he was doing.
Yeah.
And it has a really heartwarming ending.
Yep.
I did not.
I also find that the sequence that's like their actual honeymoon night is this really beautiful scene.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like you kind of. Sometimes you would look at an old movie and you're like, wow, they kind of don't make them like this anymore. It's just like it has it all.
Yep.
I think you can say that pretty much about every Frank Capra movie.
Yeah. And it's... but most of all, I think like you, Randy, and like me, that people who haven't seen this should give it a try because it's just not going to be what you think. Even after hearing us, you probably maybe still have that overriding image in your head of the ending of the clip you saw in Gremlins or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, where the angel gets
his wings.
I've seen the last 5 minutes of movies in dozens of other movies.
Yeah.
And it's just so not representative
it's
of it.
It's not the movie at all. Yeah, it's... I really enjoyed this more than I expected to.
Yeah.
I was glad that I finally sat down and watched it.
Glad you were able to check it out.
But I also want to mention... I need to look. There's a YouTube. You should be able to find it on YouTube. There's a Saturday Night Live bit from the 90s. A Dana Carvey. I can't remember who else. Dana Carvey had a
his Jimmy Stewart.
He had a Jimmy Stewart impression.
Yes,
and I think maybe Phil Hartman playing Old Man Potter.
I could see that.
But basically, it's a wish fulfillment kind of thing at the end. It's like here's the cut ending of It's a Wonderful Life,
the longer ending.
They discover the $8,000 that Potter. They're like, oh, Potter stole it. Let's go get him.
Yeah.
And it's like the whole town racing in to get him.
There's some payback in this one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I need to watch that again now because I've seen it without any context.
That might be cathartic.
Yeah. But yeah, highly recommend It's a Wonderful Life. I believe this was on Paramount, maybe?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's where I watched it.
Yeah.
So worth a look. All right, that'll wrap it up for us this time. We'll be back next week with more, and until that time,
Yo,
Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.